outro. I'm gonna fucking walk on the exact same patch of ice, slip and fall.
Okay, Jonathan, we're recording. We're not. Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for following the page. And this is a talk show that we're doing, sort of a podcast online right now, called the Bluche Bunch, and we're going to be interviewing different students from Bluche. There's going to be tons of episodes for you guys to enjoy while you're at home, and I'm just going to get our first guest on right now, and hopefully this is going to work. Okay, it says joining.
There it is. It says joining.
Let's join.
Yeah, here he is, man.
Here he is.
The one and only. Today we have with us a very, very colorful personality, boxing enthusiast, very talented photographer, F1 enthusiast. Above all, though, he's our friend and a very close friend of mine to add to that. How are you, man?
I'm good. Hello, guys. I hope quarantine's treating you guys well.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm currently in my house. There's a lot of meetings going on, so the Wi-Fi might be a little bit slow, but I hope we can get through this.
What kind of meetings? What do you mean by meetings, man?
There's my dad doing a work meeting. My brother's in the room with his teacher and stuff. So yeah.
And you're here with us.
And I'm here with you guys.
Too.
Best time. Of course, I'm being productive.
You're on the same par.
Yeah, we need to.
It's really weird. Sorry. What?
We need to act like we're busy as well. Like I told my mom I have a call. She's like, "What call do you?" I was like, "Don't worry about it."
Yeah, same. That's what I told my mom. My mom's like, "Okay, we'll be quiet." I'm like, "Thank God, thank God they believe."
Next time you should lie about it. Next time be like, "Oh shit, I gotta jack off, dude." Like, I'm in a meeting, dude.
I'm in a meeting. I had
Yo, isn't it so weird to have your parents work at home? Especially for me, when I was growing up, I never saw my dad ever, and then now he's constantly at home. I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing.
No, yeah, that's true. The whole thing where 24 hours here the whole day. You for example, my dad would leave at 6 a.m. and then he'd come back pretty late, and so I'd see him for a couple hours just at dinner, and so now he's here the whole day, so it's pretty cool. It's like you're on vacation.
He's on vacation, but everyone's still stressed, man. I know the Corona thing is not good for business and everything, but at least you get to see your dad more. One thing I do think is really interesting about Corona is that it tests family relationships. Imagine having to stay 24 hours with your family and you fucking hate your parents' guts or something like that.
That'd be shit, dude.
That would be
absolutely. That would be horrible. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking about those people that those people there's some people that just don't feel good at home. Imagine those people have to stay at home the whole time. But still, I think many of us are lucky because there's some people that their homes aren't necessarily as big or as comfortable as
fucking luxurious.
Yeah. Sorry.
Use the word, man. Don't be scared to use the word luxurious.
Luxurious.
So, you know what? I feel really bad for new couples that just moved in together, and then now they have to live with each other 24 hours. Now they're just stuck with each other. A lot of breakups gonna happen, I'm telling you.
First day, like staying with me. I like staying with you. The 14th day of quarantine. Babe, how's it going? Yeah.
Yeah. So let's cut to the chase here. You're stuck in Milan, fucking epicenter of this shit.
Yeah.
And I'm really interested. I haven't caught up with you since that, and I really want to know what it was like in the, let's say, the heart of the coronavirus in Europe.
Yeah, so basically what happened was that one day, throughout, it was my third week there. So I in the end, I managed to do 3 weeks and a bit of internship. And so what happened was that while I was there, one morning I wake up and of course the news was going crazy. There was one case in this place called Codogno, which is really close to Milan. And they were saying, okay, it'll be fine. We've quarantined that specific town. So that town was quarantined and no one could come in or out from there. But the issue was that knowing the coronavirus, the thing is not knowing the coronavirus and underestimating it, the Italian people, they would still, move. And so from Codogno, it just spread like crazy. And so what happened was that morning, there was one coronavirus case, and that night there was around 30. So everyone was starting to get worried. And in the midst of all this chaos, what happened was that I was still doing my internship, of course. I have a house in Milan, and so I lived there. And so it wasn't it wasn't too crazy because I wasn't by myself. I was with my cousins there. But at the same time, I'd go on the train with a little mask on and everything, like shitting myself, well, and going back and forth from the hotel from the Armani, and so it was a little bit of a crazy experience at first. And then what happened was that after that, when the cases started going up like crazy, the hotel actually told all the interns to stay home, which you guys probably have had the same experience.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. And so what happened there was I had to stay home, and I didn't really have the chance to work from home because I was doing a cross training where I was doing guest relations and F&B. I hadn't started F&B yet, but yeah. And so the whole thing made me stay home, and that's when it started. And so I've been in quarantine for a little bit under 2 months now.
I am.
Yeah.
Dude, you said you'd taken public transport in Milan during the fucking outbreak. Dude, looking back, isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah, that is crazy, and that is actually pretty stupid of me because well, stupid of me. It's because no one thought it was that big of a deal at first.
Yeah,
which is what made it that huge problem. And so what happened was that my dad was like, okay, stop trying to be a hero. Who gives a shit? Go to work or not? Stay at home, because or else this thing's just gonna keep spreading. Like he almost like called it at first. I'm like, okay, Dad, don't worry about it. I was being really optimistic about the whole situation.
Yeah.
And so I would keep going on this train full of people. At first, it was full of people without masks, coughing and everything. And then the week after that, I had to go that last time to the hotel, which was like mid fourth week of my internship, because I'd still kept going even though the cases had been rising like hell. That's when people started not going on public transport anymore, and I was like one of the only people on the train, and so on the metro and on the train. No, yeah, that was the best.
Because like people are like not taking public transport, be like, reverse psychology, I'm the only one here.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Oh, actually, you're
I
onto
guess
something
that might
there.
have been, yeah. I guess that might have been something. That might have been something that went towards my side, in the sense that like when I would go, like those last couple of days that I would actually go to Milan, it would just be me and 3 other guys on the whole metro, and so that's the only thing.
Plenty of social distancing. 3 meters.
Yeah,
3
more
meters
than
social distancing.
You had a whole one of those
whole fucking carriage. Whole fucking carriage.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
But yeah, man, that must be crazy. And then you were doing guest relations. I remember last time I talked to you, I was on internship as well. And then me and you are similar in the fact that we started straight away as well.
Right. Yeah, because we had the Monday right after we ended.
Yeah.
So we had 1 week
unlike
into
the rest of these
get to our destination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
no, but, yeah. So that's I think that's one thing that I think I was lucky enough to have found like an internship like right after it started, because I was going to start my one in March, and so I think it was at least, I'm not going to say better, but I think I had the chance to like actually do a part of my internship, even though it was only like barely a month. And so, yeah, it was definitely an experience at first, but yeah. And like you said, I was doing guest relations. So that consisted in not only like front office and all of that, but it also consisted in the Armani, they have this policy where when a guest comes, you want to make them feel at home. Of course, like all those other hotels are all around the world. And so what we have to do as interns or as front office or front service agents guest service agents is escort them to their room and show them around. So you have to start explaining about the whole philosophy and the design of the Armani hotel. And then you have to go into the rooms and explain how the iPad works, how the blinds go up and down by themselves. And given that Milan is and all of Italy is a country that isn't up to the trends completely, where they're still kind of ancient minded, if that makes any sense. There are some
you have to
guests.
explain that a bit more.
So like, okay, so Milan, and I think Europe, well, not Europe in general, but I think Italy as a place has been following old customs. So not many hotels have this whole concept of the iPad that turns on the TV, turns on the lights, turns off the lights, and all that complex stuff that, iPad and technologies in hotels do at this time and age.
Yeah.
But since Milan and Italy is one that still follows old customs, there are some guests that are a little bit older who don't know how to use the iPad and all that stuff. And so you had to spend a lot of time with the guests is where I'm trying to get to in this whole thing that I'm saying. And so with this whole coronavirus situation, I had to stay with these guests in the room for like hours and explain how the iPad works. And so there was a family of these Japanese people who were coming from Asia. And so not to be alert
Okay,
for
here
the
it
wrong
comes.
reasons. No, not to be alert for the wrong reasons or anything. But when they did say that they were coming from Asia and in the midst of this whole pandemic happening, you know, my colleagues, they started to say, okay, be a little bit more cautious, keep your distance if you have to. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I was chill at that point. I'm like, who gives a crap? I'm like, I'll just take them to the room and just do my shit. And so yeah, so like I went there and I showed them around the room and stuff. And so I actually had to stay a long time because they came with this guy who was translating for them. And so I had to talk to him and he had to talk to them. And so that whole process took a lot more time. And so, yeah, I had to spend a lot of time with them.
That's crazy.
You're talking to the translator, be like, okay, so this is how the iPad works. And then the translator starts talking to them. And you're
yeah, I'm just exactly. That's exactly what happens. I'm just looking at them. I'm just smiling at the guests there while they're listening to the translator. So yeah.
That's maddening. I never had to go through that. I'll tell you that much. F&B is much easier in that sense.
No, yeah, I had to go through rooms and there was one other time during Fashion Week that this guest was feeling sick, and so I had to bring up a thermometer. And again, with so everyone's paranoid at this point, right? So it's the 4th week of my internship. I was just about to leave the day after, and there's this guy who's sick, who's saying that he's coughing and that he has a lot of issues health issues in his room and stuff. And so I have to go and bring him a thermometer.
Of course, they said the intern.
Instructed to bring, yeah, exactly. Of course, they said. No, but it's because it was a busy week. Yeah, Fashion Week in Milan is really busy. And so I go up to the room and I bring the thermometer and I just see this guy who's like sweating and like panting and stuff. I'm like, okay. So I don't know. Like the fact that I didn't get it, knock on wood, was the luckiest thing.
Dude,
I think, the whole experience.
I don't fuck with that story, man. That story kind of scary. That's more scary than insidious. That's not funny at all.
Yeah. Well.
Yo, that's
dude.
You should have just taken up.
How did you deal with that guy? Did you go up to him? Did you have to like go up to him with the thermometer? Was it a gun? Was it like the one you put in your mouth? What is it?
No. So like it's the thermometer that you put under your armpit or on your mouth. So I just handed it over to him. I didn't really have to go into the room and measure the fever for him, but in the end he didn't have a fever and he was fine. So
dude, I would be shitting my pants.
Yeah, I was a little bit, and listening to the news and then having your dad and your parents calling you like every day to like tell you, okay, are you fine? Like how's the situation going? And in the whole thing, you don't really know anything because like you're just continuing your life to an extent, even though like you know that shit is happening. But so like I would just keep going around and seeing these people who are progressively getting sicker and sicker, and I was just there going in my little metro.
Young people feel they're invincible.
Stupid, yeah.
We think we don't get shit. Even if we did get corona, we wouldn't die, but it's still an inconvenience. You get it?
Right. Yeah, no. And plus, if you have like your loved ones next to you and shit, you don't want to pass it on. It's a whole loop then.
Yeah, and then the whole healthcare system collapses, and then it's apocalypse.
Right.
You know
What's your plan of Adriano? Gonna go to some rooms, take some thermometer, probably take like in a bottle of alcohol, and the guest goes like, nah.
Yeah, so we would have to take precautions, and so like we had hand sanitizer at the front desk and all that. So every 5 seconds you'd have people, when people would come by, we have to wipe down the counter and then like sanitize our hands and stuff. And so yeah.
But that's the minimum.
I think the Armani handled it pretty well, like at first, and then in the end, after Giorgio Armani actually closed his stores, then the Armani also in the end started closing the hotel I don't think the one in Dubai is closed, but the one in Milan closed, and all like the fashion district in Milan, which is right next to the Armani, was also closed. And so that's when the hotels started closing and everything is kind of shut down at the moment.
Thank God that's in the past. Thank God that's in the past. But you're safe now. Where are you right now? Mexico City, is that right?
I'm in Mexico now. So I actually had to travel during, well, of course, during like the peak of this whole thing. So I didn't leave right away. So I was there for 3 weeks, three and a half after I'd finished my internship. I didn't think it was finished because I thought, okay, I'm just gonna stay at home for like 2 weeks, and then I'll come back to the hotel. And so that clearly didn't happen. And so what happened was that I decided to stay there because I was being optimistic, saying, okay, they should be able to, control it. They're handling it pretty well. They've quarantined the towns that have these cases. And so what happened was that it wasn't contained at all. And so during, I think it was 3 weeks after I had finished my internship. Well, I had left the Armani and had to start quarantining or starting to do the self quarantine at my house. That's when I decided that I had to come back here, or that my parents decided that they thought it would be best if I came back to them in this whole situation, because you never know if traveling is going to be blocked, which most places have these travel restrictions and everything. And so I kind of managed to come last minute, because literally the week after they started closing off all these like different flights. And I actually have a picture which is pretty funny of the screens, those like the departure screens.
Yeah, I got you.
So there's only two flights. There's my flight in the whole terminal. There's my flight, and there's one flight to Rome that had been canceled, and the rest is all blank. So I'm like, okay, that's my fucking flight. There's no way in hell that I'm like, how do I get out of here? And so I saw like my flight, and there was literally like 20 people on the plane, and everyone had their own set of like 3 seats. And so that's what happened.
Thank God for that.
Yeah.
Thank God for that. How's Mexico looking in terms of Corona?
So Mexico everyone is the majority. Let me change that, everyone, because a lot of people don't really give a shit, which is concerning. But but at the moment we have the majority of people who are decided to lock themselves down, because there haven't been any instructions yet on actually like staying at home.
You're kidding.
And yeah, so the thing is, the cops now are going around in their cars. Yeah, now they're starting to say, okay, we have to stay home, stop going out. And so all like the restaurants and stores are closed now, and like malls are closed, but there are still light restrictions on going out. And so there's still people going out on their bikes, walking, and there's like bunches of groups still going out. But I mean, it's nothing like before. I mean, I'm in Mexico City. If I'm not wrong, there's 28 million people, something around that number, and the city's pretty big. And so I feel like this is one of the hardest places to have people locked down. But I like us, since we know how it looks like in other places in the US, in Italy, especially in Italy, since we have family there, we have decided to stay home, and a lot of other people are doing the same. But yeah, Mexico City, people are a little bit too chill about it, and that's a little bit worrying.
Especially considering your next door neighbor is the one and only USA.
Yeah, exactly.
Handling the situation like, I don't even know the fucking synonym to use at this point.
Yeah, at this point, I think Mexico should build a wall to stop.
Yeah, I think that was the other way around. Remember how Trump said, "You want Mexico to pay for the wall?" Mexico's like, "I'll pay for the wall."
I'll pay for the wall. Switcheroo.
You put a wall up. Yeah, no, that is crazy. I mean, look at the world. Look how it all switches around. But yeah, the thing is, nothing is certain here in Mexico. So there could be many more cases. And I remember on the radio the other day, they were saying that there's 10 times more cases than the cases that are being told there are right now.
Yeah,
so
I don't doubt that statement one bit.
Yeah,
I don't doubt that statement one bit. There's a town in Africa with 0 cases, and they interviewed the president saying, "How does your town have 0 cases? That's incredible." And the president said, "That's easy. We just don't test anybody."
Exactly.
So we got a bit of that in Mexico, I feel.
Exactly. No, that's what's happening. People aren't really getting tested that much.
Yo, but
I
yo,
got
I'll tell
tested.
you
I
one
got
thing.
tested as soon as I got here.
Really, you got the nose test, eh?
Yeah. So they
It's
put a swab
uncomfortable.
in my. Yeah, it is. It is. weird.
Mm.
They
I'm
put a
not letting
swab in my nose.
anyone do that to me. Like if someone comes at me with a thing like, open your mouth, I'm like, nah.
No.
I'm admitting to you
Yeah,
that
no, it
I
is.
have coronavirus, even though I don't. I'm just not like, I'm not risking
Dude,
that shit, man.
just lock me down somewhere. I'm not doing that.
Just
No,
lock me down. Cool, yeah.
I have to
I
do
got that
that.
test too. I got that test too when I was in quarantine. But it's
Okay.
uncomfortable. But you don't think it's like really painful, right? It's not
No,
extremely
no,
painful.
it's not painful. It's not painful at all. It's annoying that they're shoving something in your nose and then
Yeah,
it reaches
obviously.
down to your throat. Like,
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, I don't even know.
You know, when
yeah,
I
no.
was having my test, the girl next to me was like bawling her eyes out. Like, how could you do this to me? I'm like, yo, the guy didn't rape me. Like, calm yourself.
Jesus. No,
Meanwhile,
yeah,
I'm over here like put it in my happy place, and the guy just goes like that. I just squinch a bit.
yeah. No, that's the same. That's the same thing.
Italian opera.
My
Yeah,
country
that's the
doesn't
same
have the
thing.
like enough testing kits to test everyone, so they're saving it up for like serious cases. Like if you walk in and be like, I have a dry throat and I have a cough, they'll be like, this is the
They'll be
first thing
like,
they do. They'll be like,
yeah, no, yeah. There's people that don't have symptoms, which is even crazier to
yeah,
think about. Because,
asymptomatic people. Yeah, it's about 75% of,
so,
about 70%, maybe 65 of total
yeah,
cases have been like because of asymptomatic carriers. It's actually pretty crazy.
And that's
right.
the
And so
deadly
people,
part.
so those, yeah, exactly, because those kind of people aren't getting tested. And so in Italy, what happened is that some of those people who were asymptomatic were just going on and living their normal lives, while other people who
Mhm.
were feeling slightly sicker were staying in. And so everyone was fine with that because I was like, okay, they probably don't have
That
it.
makes
But then
sense.
yeah,
Mhm.
and so when they found out that these people who were asymptomatic, who are asymptomatic, are roaming around Milan or roaming around Italy, going from north to south and spreading it everywhere.
Yeah,
That's
people starting to take world tours when they have corona. I think that's a symptom of corona. People just have the urge to travel. It's like, oh, I need
for
to see
real.
Venice.
Yeah, train tickets be cheap as shit. Like you should buy a plane ticket for like $10. I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah, that's a good post.
Yeah, like the people going from here or from the U.S. to Cancun on like I saw this meme that said like on a $5 flight, but the flights were pretty cheap from the U.S. to Cancun, and so people were coming to Mexico, and so that's something else that worries because I mean if there is this whole Corona thing happening, and the U.S. has that many cases. If they're coming to Cancun and then there's people that who are coming from Cancun to Mexico City, that shit's gonna spread anyway. So how are there only this number of cases here when all this movement's been
Ah,
happening?
man, you have a bit of African politics with you. You got no testing going on. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
no,
saying.
No,
yeah.
bro, you don't even know. For India, it's we're reporting about one in like 80, 90, maybe 100 cases, and
Yeah.
like we're not testing enough. We have almost 1.4 billion people in the country, and so many people travel and shit like that. And
Right.
since December, so many people have traveled, but still they're like, yeah, we have lesser than 10,000. We're like, wait, how? There's people meeting for like religious things and like getting tested
Yeah,
positive
yeah.
newspapers.
Like literally
When we
not
watch the
possible.
news, yeah. So then they're like, no, just don't worry about it. We have less than 10,000. We're like, okay, wait, how? Why are you asking?
Yeah.
We have less than 10. It's like, just stop
And you know
arguing.
what's really funny is everybody likes to point fingers at China for hiding cases. Like they don't hide cases themselves. Like it's insane.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Now, I was watching this documentary on Netflix called Unacknowledged, and they actually explain that I'm not going to name the country, but this country has done something in the past called fake flag operations, in which
Okay.
they hurt themselves in order to blame the enemy.
Okay.
Now, I'm not looking for that controversial statement over here, but I'm not going to say anything.
They hurt themselves to blame the enemy.
Yeah,
That's
they
US,
set
isn't
up.
it?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I didn't say yes. I didn't say
Controversial is
no.
my middle name. Sorry, I have to.
Okay, 1 second.
Okay, go.
Okay.
Dude, why would you? Okay, for those who need some filling in, you just named the country. I'm not gonna say the name of the country. May or may not have been mentioned already. May or may not. And The
There
recording
was,
has
there was a bit of a pause there in the recording, and that was a technical issue.
a technical
A
difference.
technical issue. And also, as you can notice throughout this whole podcast situation, Jonathan's going to be reminding the crowd in a very subtle way to drink water, keep yourselves hydrated, because
No,
Yeah,
that's what we're about at Bluche.
your local brand C hot.
yeah, I got water right here.
I have Pringles. I have curry
Nice,
flavored
nice.
Pringles.
I got fucking sodium that draws water out of your system. Nice, good job.
Nice.
Fucking health 101.
So can I ask? Yeah. So about this podcast thing, can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah,
Go
sure.
for it, dog.
How many people are you guys planning to interview, and how's this gonna look throughout these?
Can I answer this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
We actually have a bit of a lineup going on. So after you were planning to interview Charlie, and
Okay.
after that we're planning to interview Benjamin, Oliver, and Scott in like all
Okay.
in one to talk about their little Instagram
Obsessed.
page that they have going on, which I'm a big fan of. If you're listening to this, fucking go follow
Yeah, of
that
course.
page.
I know,
vouch for
man.
that page.
Yeah. It's made me want to like
Yes,
make
okay.
shit at home myself. Like I've been like at the bar recently.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, I need to make a Negroni or a
And while
something.
we're on the topic of vouching for
Yeah, they
friends,
look good.
everybody go follow fucking Adriano's photography page.
Yeah.
That page is
Go
underrated as
follow
hell.
the photography
I
page.
did some stalking before this podcast, bro. I saw 54 likes on one of his best photos. What is this? This is
Yeah,
unfair,
no,
man.
it's dry. It's dry.
Hashtag ADA photography. Use that shit. Anyway.
Thank you.
Anyways, so then after that we have a BBA 3 student who's willing to come on the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're
No,
not,
but I was asking because it's actually a really cool idea, and as you guys saw, I as soon as I saw like you guys had this on
Yeah.
like, your stories, I
yeah.
put like a little flyer thing. I'm like, oh shit, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good way to use your time, and so yeah, I thought it was cool, and so that's why I'm asking. Like when did you guys think of this? Is this something like recent?
Dude, can we be 100% honest with you?
Okay, this is
Literally-
100% honesty. Jonathan said me and Jonathan were like in a conversation, and he said I miss your jokes, and I was like, why don't we just start like an online stand-up sort of thing? And then he
No. It's
Yeah.
not even that. It's not even that. It's literally, he replied to my story, and my reply to his reply was, "I miss your jokes," and then he asked straight on. So that's the full conversation. Don't try to make it seem like we were on a conversation. 'cause
Instagram live, like a stand-up comedy bit by me and Jonathan, but then I
I
changed
thought it was
like,
gonna be
yo,
Instagram
why
Live.
not?
Yeah.
Yeah, so did we. But here we are. And, but so it turned into let's make it a talk show, and a talk show podcast. Right now it should be online, but if we get enough people to watch it, maybe when we go back on campus, we can actually make
Yeah,
it
we do it live.
the thing. Like make it like a little bit of reality show, like petite parodies.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah.
No, we had an idea. Call it the Pity Parody Podcast.
Yeah,
So
but
we bring
Oh,
people to
podcast.
parody and just film. We just record a conversation.
Yeah,
go to
my idea of
Parody to
what
do
a podcast should
Yeah,
be is
we
just
do,
like
we do.
my idea of what a podcast should be is just like a genuine conversation. You don't have to have a
Yeah, of
script.
course.
You don't have to have
Yeah,
a
no
fucking list of questions.
Yeah, true.
And I can invite whoever I want. Me and Ayan invite whoever we want, and we just have a genuine conversation because I believe everyone's personality is enough to shine.
Yeah, of course.
That's beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Can I have someone cry, fake cry? Anybody have
One
the
sec.
fake
I'm
crying
gonna note this down.
got
Everyone's
it.
personality is enough to shine. I'm gonna take note of that.
That's what you name this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think on the topic. What should we name this episode?
Whatever you guys want. I mean, in the end, you guys were. I was talking to one of you. I don't know who I'm. Since you guys have like the Instagram together, I don't. Most of the time, I don't know who I'm talking to.
It's
But
me.
so I had,
Always Ayan. Always
Okay,
Ayan.
and so I had a discussion with Ayan on how we wanted to call it. So I think you guys are going for the whole theme where you call it people's like the person's name, yeah.
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 Which is I think is fine because and you guys can make what Jonathan just said your motto, where you guys are doing personality is
The fucking motto.
is,
Can you
yeah.
make that our fucking caption for Bluche Bunch?
Put that on your
Instagram?
poster. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for real. Just do that. I mean, it doesn't have to be scripted. Just put that shit in.
Everybody's personality is enough to shine.
Wait, Adriano,
Yeah.
didn't see like our initial poster for the thing that I made out of the Avengers.
Okay.
Oh yeah. You guys have to show me your poster because I sent you guys a picture that you guys
we
wanted.
haven't
and
we
you-
haven't we haven't made one, but then I did one just for fun, and I was like, Jonathan, how do you like this? Should I show it to him?
Yeah, just
Yeah,
send it
please.
to him on Instagram.
I'll send it to you on Instagram. Yeah, I'm not gonna
Okay.
do that.
Okay, no, but you're gonna have to show the people as well. You know that, right?
No, I
people-
don't think the people want to see this one.
I
in
don't
all
think
honesty.
people want to see this one.
okay.
It's not like it's not a bad thing, but like it was not serious enough for the
Okay.
the
Yeah,
page.
yeah.
Okay, how about Adriano? You take a look at a photo, and if you think the people want to see it, you just hold it up to the camera, okay?
Jesus Christ. Okay, guys. So this is what we're looking at. Me in a suit, and we have Jonathan as Iron Man and Ayan as Thor in the back.
Yeah.
It's a great,
Hey,
great
you know,
poster, yo.
my
From
man
the
Chris
episode of
Hemsworth.
Back to Mexico City. Yeah, that's pretty good. You guys should use that. Just put
I
that like
don't.
I'm
the
not using
podcast.
I don't know, man.
put the podcast, and then when they swipe, they just have the poster and like a bunch of other shit.
Fuck it.
No, the podcast
Yeah,
actually
just-
goes on
I'm just gonna say
IGTV.
fuck it.
Oh right, yeah. So it goes on IG. Okay. So you could just post this as a post and have it advertised.
Yeah. We can.
Yeah.
We sure can. We sure.
100%.
And I could send you guys a video of me walking through the Milan Malpensa airport, literally by myself, walking with
Actually,
like a
yeah.
mask. Yeah, I can send you guys that. But it's literally me, and because I was showing my parents, I was walking around, and there's these hallways that I usually see full. It was just me walking on. And you know those speedy like treadmill things that you go on
Yeah.
with like your luggage.
The conveyor belt.
Yeah, the conveyor belt. You could literally spend like an hour just like pulling out an exercise on there, and no one would have given a fuck.
Full on high interval
Yeah,
training.
just run in the
High
spot.
intensity interval training on the fucking airport.
For real. I mean, talk about home workouts.
Yeah, talking about home workouts. What have you been doing, man? Because we have big plans. We have big plans, me and you, Adriano.
Yeah,
Hey,
so-
you guys have
so-
such big plans.
Yeah, so I haven't.
I was like, yeah, big plans.
Big plans. Hey, I've been working out as well. No, I haven't.
that was a joke, or was that just a statement?
That was a statement.
No, yeah.
Nothing funny about it.
And why the fuck did you say it like that? I've been working out as well.
No. There
No,
was
yeah,
no
but-
maybe. Man, them skipped the maybe, went straight for the no.
Yeah, no. But at least Jonathan, at least you have a boxing, like a punching bag at home. I don't have shit. I've just been jumping rope, and actually yesterday while I was jumping rope, the end of like one of like the jump rope snapped off.
Are you
now I have
kidding
to
me?
so I have to see how the fuck I'm gonna fix it. But I've been jump roping and lifting water bottles and shit, and that's all I've been doing in here.
Mad thing.
But yeah,
When me and Adriano are getting back on campus, we are going to be like head coaches of the boxing club. I'm telling you right
yeah,
now.
fuck yeah.
I'm joining. I'm
Yeah,
not
okay.
like this is not a joke. This is a statement. I'm actually joining because like I haven't done
No,
it
we
in like
should-
8 months.
We should see. Yeah, but we should see. Like we've been talking about this for a while, Jonathan. But we have to see if we can actually like. The thing is, I wouldn't mind if LaRoche just started one and that we would actually be able to like, properly go like the one they had started. Like I don't even need to be the one like coaching because I feel like if we just have like a class, it'll be better. But I mean, if nothing starts, then Jonathan, we might have to take this into our own hands.
Yeah, I
And
think no.
yeah.
The thing is, the
I don't
thing
know,
is,
man.
right? The head guy. You know Tom. Everybody knows
Yeah,
Tom.
yeah,
right?
of course.
Tom doesn't have a boxing background. He's a Krav Maga, self-defense, fucking kung
But
fu.
he's like the LaRoche PE teacher. So who else are we gonna go to?
That's one way to put it. Yeah.
As we were
Yeah,
looking
no,
at the
well-
controversial statement, we have it right there. Tom,
no.
He's the LaRoche PE.
PE
He's the
teacher.
LaRoche PE teacher.
Well, no, I mean it's not to be like mean or anything, but like that's
No,
basically
yeah,
what-
yeah, he's
he's like the
coordinating. Yeah,
director, and so that's like why we went to him in the first place, and so yeah.
fair.
But
What time is it where you guys are?
I am you first.
It's almost 9:15 at night.
Okay.
For me, it's 20 minutes to midnight.
Oh, okay. Mine's it's 10:43 right now. So I woke up
10:43
not too long ago. Hence
Nice.
my
AM,
face.
Yeah, say hello to the crowd.
Hello, crowd. What's up?
Hey, ladies.
Zillions.
Yeah, I hope you guys keep this thing going and it blows up because it's a really cool idea.
So,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, sure, yeah.
plenty of personalities to go around, man. Plenty.
Yeah, no.
Episodes for days.
We're gonna get a
But yeah,
very like a controversial episode about 5 episodes in, where
yeah,
we're gonna go after an enterprise-based.
Wait, what are you trying to say here?
We're talking about your ex roommate.
Huh?
We're
My
talking about your
ex-roommate?
his ex
Or
roommate.
me, Madhav.
No
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
I don't think Adriano knows the full story behind that drama.
I just know he
Well,
got.
tune in to find out.
Tune in to find out.
That's all I can say.
Well, yeah, for real. But yeah, but what do you like? What happened? Yeah, and I heard some stories about you. You had people like who had cases in your hotel. Yeah.
I did, yeah. So basically, our hotel was the only one in Barcelona that actually had confirmed cases, and we had a huge meeting about it.
Right.
And but like the day we came back from the meeting, I went to work only one more day after that, and I come back from work,
Right.
and like next day, Adi, I was sharing an apartment with him and Dhruv, and he tells me that his contract with Mandarin Oriental, they just fired him, so he doesn't have a job anymore, and he's going to be going back to India. So I was like, what do you mean? And then like over the next couple of hours, so many people started going, yeah, our contracts got terminated as well. And I was like, why hasn't mine been terminated? Like ours has literally had a
Yeah, you're just
case.
chilling.
So I went and I quit.
Yeah.
I had to go and quit.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, yeah. What were you gonna do there? I mean, it's not like they were gonna let you work.
Yeah, nothing, man. I'm not gonna name the friend of mine who I went with. Actually, no, fuck it. I'll name him Mohit. I went with Mohit. Yeah.
Yes.
I
Right
went
now.
I went with Mohit to quit the job, and like we're on a train back, like again public transport, not the wisest of
Yes.
moves. But Mohit's
Right.
like, yo, should I just go cough on someone, scare the shit out of them? Like, no.
Yeah, Mohit, that's the thing. Mohit is the one that would make a joke like that, and I know because he's in my team, and he'd always make these kinds of jokes. But yeah, Mohit's crazy. Mohit's wildin'.
He's a G. He's
What
a
would
G.
be
He has this
Walden,
really,
man?
he has this
Jeez.
really huge ass jacket that he wears, makes him look shady as shit. But it's a good
The
jacket.
Spider-Man,
It's a good.
the
No,
one
no,
with the
it's
spider
a.
on it. He
I
was gonna
think
sell that
so.
one. He said he never used it. I saw that motherfucker use it at
Not
least
the
5
spider one,
times.
not the spider one, not the spider one. It's like this huge gray one where he puts the hood over and he just stands there looking at you like, yeah, I'm here, bro.
What's up?
Yo,
Nah.
okay, Mohit, if you're listening, no disrespect, man, but
We
you
love
would
you, Mohit.
totally be the kind of guy to sell crack cocaine in the streets.
You know what?
Oh my
Episode
God.
7, we're interviewing Mohit.
Yeah, let's interview Mohit.
We're getting Mohit. Episode 7.
You guys have to
No,
do that.
yeah, we have to. It's not a fucking option at this
But
point.
he's in
You
Dubai.
put it-
Like,
we-
Dubai actually has a lot of cases, but then like I don't like they're containing it really well, containing it fairly well compared to other countries. And I don't know how it hasn't blown up in Dubai because like so many people go to the airport.
Right.
So
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
but he's chilling. It's cool.
And especially people like going from, let's say, like from, I remember when I lived in Indonesia, I had to go through Dubai to go to Italy, and so Dubai is like that center position where a lot of people are taking flights by there. And
Yeah,
so,
I fucking flew through somewhere near Dubai just to get into Switzerland for the rush.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
Doha, Abu Dhabi,
Yeah, Doha. There we go.
Doha. Okay. Yeah,
How did you know that?
Middle Eastern connections all over, man. Doha, Abu Dhabi, like Etihad, Qatar, Emirates, like all of them just taking those flights all the way.
right, right.
Yeah. Dumb rich. Those people are dumb rich. Jesus
Also,
Christ.
man, big shout out to Emirates because I mean, no one's gonna be watching this for Emirates, but big shout out to Emirates.
So big shout out to
Because, like,
Mercedes Benz. If you could sponsor me, that'd be great.
Yeah, if we're shouting out at people, okay, never mind. Let me get to the Emirates story first. So it's basically like they allowed free cancellations and like changing of flights. They were the first, like one of the first airlines to do it from Europe. And like yeah, they did that for everyone. You could just go like no extra charges and shit like that. So that was pretty dope. But now that we're shouting people out just randomly, Anthony Joshua, you're a bit. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Whoa.
I idolize him. Okay, I
What the
idolize
fuck?
him.
Me and Adriano went like fuck.
Oh
No,
shit.
I'm
Yeah.
5'8". He's what, 6'5"?
Yeah, I think so. Actually, yeah, that's pretty accurate. I think he's 6'5".
Yeah. Why would I
So
want
what was be honest?
Yeah,
Yo,
you're
the
like,
one person I wouldn't even call out if it was a joke is like Canelo. I wouldn't call him.
Oh,
I wouldn't call him out even if it was a joke.
No, but I think Canelo's chill. I think he's okay. I think
Yeah,
one
he's
person I
chill.
would call is Floyd. Floyd seems like he's fucking crazy. So
Yeah, Floyd seems like he would book a flight to wherever we are, beat the shit out of us.
He has his own flight, man. He won't book a flight.
Yeah,
He has his own airline made of diamonds or some
he'll
shit.
just take,
Like,
yeah,
I'll call him out and be
exactly.
like, Floyd
Yeah.
this, Floyd that. And like 18 hours later, he comes up to my house with like a bundle of cash. Like, oh yeah, so you want to fight? No,
It's
what?
just a
You should be at
flex. He
home.
doesn't even beat you up.
He'll just take the next TMT flight, the money team flight, and
Yeah.
The money team, bro.
The money team.
Yeah,
he'll
he's
just-
crazy. Just
Yeah.
for comparison, Floyd Mayweather's nickname is Money.
Yeah,
Canelo's
Money
nickname
Mayweather,
is
yeah.
Canelo's nickname translated to English is fucking Cinnamon. So,
Yeah.
so there's not really a comparison here, you know.
yeah.
What I'm
So
saying?
it kind of makes it.
Canelo. Hey, I look shocked. Canelo's name means cinnamon.
No.
Well, canela means cinnamon, but I think Canelo.
Canela
it's
is the feminine. Canelo is the masculine. You see, I'm a fucking linguist, don't I?
linguist, bro. Duolingo.
Yo hablo español. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just finished
Hablo
my
en
Spanish
español,
course, man. I got like a 90% flex.
Hey, dope.
Dude, I dropped Spanish. I want to learn Italian. Spanish is like.
Listen,
can't.
if you learn Spanish, you'll learn Italian relatively quickly. That's how it worked for me. Since I already knew Italian, when I moved to Venezuela at first, which was like the first country that I moved to with, the first country that was a Spanish-speaking country, I learned Spanish relatively quickly. Then I moved to Panama, and the only thing that really changed there was the accent. Like
Wait, how old are you? No, I'm confused.
So then after that, I moved to the UK to study.
No,
But, okay, to clear this up for the crowd, just start with your first country up till where you are right now.
Okay,
let's
so
go.
London. No. That was shit. First country I just popped out London. No.
Damn grime thing, Stormzy.
So the UK was the first place that I lived. Well, I was born in Italy. I moved to the UK after 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to Australia, then Holland, then Indonesia, then
I don't even have enough fingers.
That's five.
then Venezuela, then Panama,
I can't count.
and then Mexico, yeah, and then Switzerland.
So nine countries.
Yeah.
Yo, I can't
Nine.
even name 9 countries.
9 countries.
Jesus.
9 countries.
Geography is not my strong point.
He's just 9 countries. Just holy
Yeah,
shit.
no.
I
Yo,
knew about like you mentioned Italy, you mentioned Mexico in the past, you mentioned the UK, and you mentioned Venezuela. Panama, Australia, I had like no idea about, like.
Yeah, no, yeah. I've been pretty lucky to like move around and stuff. It's been
suck your dick,
it's been pretty cool, yeah. Yeah, Mr. Worldwide. Yeah.
On an average,
Yeah,
he's stayed in one place for 2 years, just to hashtag
Yeah,
math.
something like that. How old are you? 18, 19? 19, right?
I'm 19. I'm 19. 19, yeah.
Turning 20 this year, next year.
In October.
Oh shit, this year, man, you're old.
Yeah, this year.
Oh wait, same
I say
month.
that I'm only
Yeah, I
4
remember
months
that.
younger than you.
But I look younger. I look younger than my
Wait,
age,
I
which
think
kinda sucks
Adriano's
sometimes.
a day like his birthday's a day after mine. Is yours 12th?
No, the 13th.
So yeah, okay, 2 days after mine.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's close. Yeah.
Pretty close.
But
pretty close.
what year were you born?
I'm 18. I'm a kid. Don't judge.
Ah, okay. my bad.
Child in the house.
My bad. But yeah, so how are you guys spending your time through quarantine? I know Jonathan's punching the bag a lot and looking at Cuban boxers and shit.
Hey man, don't sleep on the fucking footwork for Cuban.
No, that's crazy. But
insane.
I was looking at that. I'm like, how the fuck? Like, does he switch? Like, at first, I didn't understand if he was switching stance or what he was doing, because like he kind of like does like this weird thing and then he starts coming back. If you guys, probably no one knows what we're talking about, but Jonathan sent me a video. Of this guy.
What I've been doing a lot is like watching this fucking guy on Instagram trying to copy his drills. Cubanboxer.com or some shit like that. I don't know. But you know what? I've been practicing southpaw. I'm gonna change to southpaw because you gotta learn a new skill, right? I can't just like keep.
Of course.
I gotta
I'm gonna
improve
watch
in some like
Southpaw.
the movie.
That's a good movie, actually.
I don't think you got the reference, Aya.
I got that's my way of taking it. It's okay.
Yeah. But yeah, guys.
Sidetrack. I also picked up a lot of cooking I'm trying to improve my culinary skills while I'm here.
Oh yeah.
And to give you an idea where I am today, I managed to burn my entire palm. I don't know whether you can see that.
Yeah,
Nice.
we
So
can,
it's
we can
going
see that.
well.
Yeah. Oh,
I
Jesus.
burned my
So,
entire
so,
palm.
so roots and all those practical courses
Yeah.
really helped you out, didn't they?
I'm really value like was that
I
half
feel
million?
nothing now. But
Jesus, that's a little dark.
Yeah. The other day I picked up like a pot full of chicken stock, and it was like hot, but it wasn't that hot. I put it down. My mom tried to pick it up. She's like, "What the fuck is this? You have a superpower?" Yeah, like so.
Yeah, she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah,
Frozone.
she's like, "That's steaming hot." I'm like, "Really? That's cool." It's
No, yeah,
lightweight.
yeah, no, because when Chef Salas or whoever told you go get that thing from the oven, you knew you had to do it fast. Where it's like, "Are you fucking listening to me?" And you had to run, grab it with that whatever you had.
Yeah. Yo, I miss BBA one like the experience, man. We won't get that again. You guys
No,
realize that?
yeah, I think it went like hella fast. Like
Yeah.
We did, yeah.
many people were like in the end it did go pretty fast. And now like literally now that everyone's in quarantine and shit, like when you look back, like let's say like you look back for like an old picture, or like you're looking back on pictures from when we were in Switzerland and shit, you just start missing everything, because then you run up on that picture where it was like, oh, it was like that Christmas holiday where I don't know, you were in the mountains and shit, and so you just really start missing everything. Like even like the like most random times, you're like, fuck, if only I was there right now,
Yeah.
would have been
I
much
guess,
better
yeah,
than
that's
this.
been happening over the last
Yes,
couple of days for me
yeah,
as
I've been
well.
having
Yeah.
I've
You
been
gotta be
having
in my
that.
feels now.
Yeah, no,
Woo!
it sucks. And
What's
the other
that?
like,
What's the one
well,
moment you would go back to right now? The one moment that you're like, damn, I wish I could go back.
that's a good question. I don't even nah, I don't know. Because like some things in BB1 are kind of a pain in the ass to do, and so I wouldn't say I'd go back to like the first thing in BB1. I don't even know actually.
Yeah, I remember
Just
this
give
one
it a
time
good think,
Adriano came
man.
down, he was
Just
drunk as shit.
anything.
We were in PF4, he came out, he was smashed. Like
When was it?
yeah,
Yo,
It is
exactly.
like
When
every
I was
other Sunday,
expecting that.
Adriano. Don't try to act. Don't
yo,
try
why are
to
you guys
act.
exposing? Why are you guys
Don't try
exposing?
to.
No,
It's
because
not true, yo.
I was downstairs having like chips and ramen and shit, and all of a sudden I just heard like sounds from all over, and I see you, Austin, and Massey just run in and start throwing wet tissue paper at each other or some shit like that.
Masi left Laroche, so that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen
Oh
anymore.
no.
Masi's in Lausanne. What a fucking
Yeah.
bitch, yo. Everyone's calling him out right now.
Yeah. Everyone call him out. I'll fucking fight him, dude.
Yeah, no, Masi. Yeah, I'm gonna miss that kid. And
Mossy, man.
I had a lot of friends, and I have a lot of friends in common with him. So like, he knows some friends that I used to go to school with in Panama, who he used to go to school with in Argentina. And so like, I was like, oh shit, it's pretty cool. Like, it's almost destiny that we met. And then this motherfucker just leaves, which is
Yeah, it
bullshit.
just
But
bounces, man.
yeah, but yeah, I mean,
That's sad, man.
it is. It
Who
is.
else? Who else leaving? I don't know. In our batch, it's kind of confusing, eh?
Your roommate.
A little bit.
He
All
left.
right.
He left. So that's a different story. Okay?
Yeah, he left.
Ran.
He left. My
He's
man
already
bounced.
gone. He was gone before we fucking got into this whole coronavirus bullshit.
Yeah. But yeah, but I think this is gonna like screw up our like class a little bit, because like, not in the sense that like we won't have the same people anymore, because a lot of people are saying, okay, I'm not coming back in July. I'm gonna try to continue doing my internship for the people that still believe that they can continue doing their internship. So I feel like our whole class is gonna be a little bit mixed now. Because for example,
Yeah, that's true.
Austin, he is currently still in internship, and I think that like he's planning to stay there, and he won't be coming before July, and so we might not be seeing like people that, like Austin coming back in July,
Shit. But
which sucks.
you yourself are coming, eh?
Yeah, I mean, if I manage to get out of Mexico, the thing is, the situation here is progressively getting worse, and I'm afraid that one of these days, and don't mark my words because I hope this shit doesn't happen, but one of these days they're gonna say, exactly, knock on wood, they're probably gonna say like, okay, so the coronavirus cases have skyrocketed, and now you can't leave the country, and so yeah, I just hope.
But
I
you
just hope
guys still haven't
people start
heard that yet?
understanding.
Like our prime minister just going all out,
No,
like
but that's the thing. That's the thing, Ayan. We haven't heard that shit yet, because there are people
Yes,
who aren't getting
man.
tested. Not to call out the government or anything, but they don't give a fuck.
Don't call them. Don't call the Mexican government. What are you fucking doing, man?
Not,
Hey,
No, I'm
Yeah,
not
I'm gonna
calling
have
him
to
out, but
yeet myself out.
at the moment, I think it's being taken a little bit too lightly, but yeah.
In case
But
the
yeah.
Mexican government is watching this, I love Tijuana. I've seen it. I've seen it on TV shows and movies.
What the
I really want to come there.
Oh, why Tijuana? Tijuana is probably the worst place you could have loved, bro.
No, I heard the song "Down in Mexico" by the Coasters, and that's like I saw Hangover, and like that's all I've been thinking about it. When someone says Mexico, I go down in the Mexico.
Jesus.
I've never been to Mexico, but I want to go one day. I
You
want to
should come.
I want to go to a Mexican boxing gym.
Oh, dude, those are nice, bro. That's one thing. That's one thing I hate. The fact that I'm here and I can't go like train or anything, and I can't go clubbing, and I can't see my friends who are here from like my high school friends are here, and I can't see them, and they're like, "Yo, come visit me," and shit. I'm like, "What do you mean, come visit me?" Like they told me that when I had just gotten back, that I had just gotten back from Italy, and they thought I was already like I had already gotten tested and everything, so they were like, well, actually, like some people didn't even give a shit. They're like, "Yo, come visit." Like,
It's
what the
worth it.
fuck? You know what's happening in Italy right now, and they're like, yeah, who gives a shit? Come. I'm like, no, it's not gonna happen.
Like Jonathan wants to visit a Mexican boxing gym. I just want to go get smashed off tequila, man. Like get that good shit from the place itself.
That shows the difference in personality.
Yeah.
There's a big variety of tequila here, actually.
I want to have all.
You
That's yeah.
definitely have the chance to get smashed.
Oh,
I think tequila's nice as a shot, but as in cocktails, I don't know.
Yo, tequila sunrise is pretty good. Come on,
Tequila sunrise is just orange juice and fucking
ooh,
tequila.
the
You
song
can't go wrong.
and the drink,
Oh, yeah.
everything good.
But you just said in cocktails. I mean, look at Alier. He would make that shit the weak drink, and people
Oh
would
wait,
go.
dude, I have to take back my words. You have to try a fucking tequila sour. Silver
Oh,
Patron. Silver
I've tried
Patron.
I've tried that actually. Yeah, it's good.
You know what got me onto tequila sours? When I was working at my shift, Roots Bar, there was this one Mexican. I think he was Mexican dude, like short, but like a bit like up and about. And he came up to
Okay.
bars and he looked at the bottle. I want to buy the bottle. He's like, okay.
You're like, oh,
And then
okay.
he bought the bottle and he said, okay, I want my tequila sour. But apparently he had a really deep relationship with Mr. Ollie already. And he said, I want my tequila sours. Just keep them coming because I bought the bottle, you know? Basically keep them coming because I bought the bottle. And then he's like, I want Mr. Ollie to make the drink. And then one time they've got a really busy bar. Mr. Ollie got really lazy and he was like, okay, Jonathan, could you make his drink? And I made it. And he came up to the bar like, who made the drink? And like, fuck, I'm getting beat up tonight, aren't I? and then he said, this is like fucking good tequila sour. I'm like,
oh, thank God.
The very next week, as soon as I got off shift, I was like, I want to try the tequila sour that he had because I made so many.
Yeah,
you can't drink 20 tequila sours, and tequila sours are shit. You know, you got.
Or can
I
you?
wanted to know what it was about.
Right now, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no, I've tried it. I tried it here actually in December when I went to Cancun. I think we should organize a trip to Cancun, like a La Roche trip to Cancun, and see how it goes.
Dude, you got the fucking message I sent to the group chat, the Fight Me group chat, right?
I think so. Yeah, of course I did. I mean,
you see that you see the fucking place in the middle of Italy.
Yeah, where the fuck did you find that?
Dude, I watch food documentaries. This is what I do.
That's what you're spending your time. You're punching the bag and watching food.
that's so productive.
It's
so productive.
Called Solo Chicha in where the fuck even is that, yo? Middle of nowhere. Like it's not even like okay. So this is Milan here, and and this is Rome. It's literally it's near Bologna. Like who goes to Bologna?
I'll tell you what, you'll be far from the coronavirus. It's in the middle of nowhere.
No, it's everywhere. What do you fucking mean? Jesus.
Yeah, I just want to have the tequila that the Dwayne the Rock Johnson made, like his brand of tequila, Terramana.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I follow the thing on Instagram. It looks like amazing. Like it's his own brand. He's like he's been working for like a year for this, and like that's something I want. Yeah, that and Conor McGregor's whiskey.
Conor McGregor's whiskey.
Proper 12. Yeah.
Proper 12.
What the fuck was that?
The Irish accent. The Irish accent.
What do you mean? That's how he says it, yo.
I'll be down to fucking try his whiskey too, actually.
But yeah, I follow his I follow like that Instagram page, like Proper 12, and he has
Yes.
like this pretty cool post of, I don't know what it was, but he had made a drink with Proper 12, and so like there was like the Proper 12 like bottle, and there was these like, they kind of looked like OBS. We're going back to that Instagram that Scott
Yeah.
is.
Shout out.
Wait,
It
I know what
looked
you're
it looked
talking
like
about. I
one of
know
those
what you're talking
pictures.
about. Yeah, I
Did you
definitely
see?
know what
Did
you're
you see
talking about.
like those three cups? The three cups with like the Proper 12 bottle, which looked pretty
Yeah,
good
yeah, yeah.
actually.
I'm
Yeah,
looking for that right now. Yeah, I mean, I've seen this post before, and I was like, yeah, that looks amazing. Like,
yeah.
is good shit.
It's this
The
one,
kind of shit you can make with
proper
whiskey
whiskey.
though is nice. But anyway, this has been a good talk. It's been a
Great.
good
Yeah,
talk.
yeah. It's been great, and
It's been an
it's
hour. That's what it
it's
has been.
still it's still catching up to you guys,
Yeah,
and
bro.
it's nice.
Likewise, man. Likewise. So we're gonna end things here on the best of notes with alcohol in the discussion, and
Okay.
Yes.
hopefully we're gonna like shorten this out and put some clips out there. But if you
Yeah.
have successfully watched the whole thing up till here, you need to text me and I will know because this is at the end. Okay, so you need to text me and we will give you a special shout out on our story. Okay, so
Does it count if
thank
I watch it till the end, or?
no.
Ah,
You got to be on the show,
okay.
man. Come on.
Okay. Yeah. My bad. My bad.
So thank you so much for watching. Everyone say bye. We're gonna terminate this.
Okay. Thank you guys for having me,
Not a problem,
and bye
man. It
everyone.
was good. Bye
See you
bye.
see you
Thank you.
see you soon in La Roche.
Yes, indubitably.